On Hunt.
TAM KBDT proudly presents Life Solutions, coaching, counseling, naturopathic medicine, insights for successful living, and getting better with Beal.
Welcome. We are excited to have you with us today. We are actually going to help you get better in your personal life, in your social life, in your friendship life, but also with your health and wellness. We are going to talk about having dinner parties and the importance of it, especially a holiday dinner party. Why should you have a holiday dinner party? I have Dr. Slaughter here. Jim's here to help me.
Hey, everybody. Good to have you today.
We just need to call this Getting Better with Ann and Jim because you help me so much. You like having dinner parties.
I really do. And there's something, there's so many different benefits to having a dinner party, and sometimes the name, the idea of a dinner party freezes people in their steps because it seems so formidable and challenging, but it doesn't have to be that way. The holidays are a perfect opportunity to begin getting people together, having people over. It doesn't have to be a lot, maybe a few, and just enjoying one another's company.
Well, and since 2003, having friends over to eat has fallen 30 to 40%. Now, that is a lot. That is a lot. And it's a sad testimony for people building friendships.
Which is another point that's really important. I meet with guys all the time, and guys come for help and all sorts of things. But nearly every guy that I talk to says he has no friends. Or if he has any friends, he doesn't have very many friends, and he follows that by saying, I need friends.
Well, and it's not that they don't want friends. People do want friends, and people do want to have people over. They say that. They just don't get around to it. So this is the holiday season. So we want you to listen to learn why it's so important to bring back those dinner parties. And really, people are watching with social media, there's pressure there that if you're not going to do it perfectly, don't do it, which is crazy. Or even like Downton Abbey and these shows where they're just elaborate and they're just so much to it.
You don't have to have 6 silver spoons to have a dinner party.
People, honestly, people are just grateful for the effort that you make and happy that you want to have them over. And your friends just want to visit. They want to come over. And honestly, the food is the least important part of the dinner party, which sounds funny because you're having a dinner party and dinner, but really it's more about building relationships, bonding, the chemicals that go off when you bond like that and you have people over and you break bread together. It really does increase oxytocin. Now, you're the one who knows all about that, so share about that if you don't mind.
Well, oxytocin is it's a chemical that our bodies produce that is a bonding chemical, and it happens in certain situations, but it's a chemical that when our brain causes it to flood our bodies, we feel close to the person around us or the person we're with. And so we call it a bonding chemical. It's a bonding chemical. So, when we get together like that, there are natural chemicals that begin flowing through our bodies that weren't a few minutes ago. And so oxytocin, a bonding chemical, is part of that. Other, like we might say, feel-good chemicals, dopamine is a part of that. Adrenaline goes way down because we're not anxious. It just settles out any kind of anxiety or angst, whatever you want to call it, and it begins to make us feel really good, and we relax, we enjoy one another, we talk about things, the conversation flows, and it really is a very good, uplifting time.
And it's really important to set a date. We actually wanted to host the small group at our house. Part of it was because we wanted to clean our house once a month. And we were like, we know we'll do it. Like if we have to, and we'll run out because we do want to see our friends and we do want to see people. But if we try to, we'll do it, and then it'll never get done. But this way, it always gets done. And we run around getting ready for it like a crazy person, and we do not go all out. We have people bring things, and that's something that we're going to talk about. And it's just a nice social time. There's a book called Brunch Is Hell, How to Save the World by Throwing a Dinner Party. And it's by two authors, Newnam and Gagliano. And they basically say that ultimately nobody cares. You're inviting people over for free food and drinks. It's pretty much social bribery. And that's what's true. You're inviting them over, you're going to feed them, and it doesn't even matter if you order pizza. Okay, so if you never done it or you haven't done it in a long time, the longer you don't do it, the harder it feels, the more anxious you get about it, and the less possibility that you'll ever do it.
Yeah, it feels awkward if you wait a long time in between. So getting started, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about, initiating a dinner party in order to sustain relationships and to have good relationships. And so sometimes just taking that first step, and if it needs to be a small step, that's okay. Order in pizza if you want to do that. Or
order pizza.
Have everybody bring something and make it a potluck. That can still be your dinner party.
Well, and you can always make the entree. But I know that, we used to love when we first got our bread maker. Long time ago, we would have so much fun making bread. And we'd get the recipes from the flour from Costco or wherever, the grocery store, whatever. And we would make bread, and then people would come over and we'd put garlic salt or garlic butter on it, and we'd all eat bread. And so we'd invite people over. We'll make the bread, right? And everybody would bring stuff. And so it's just so important to socialize and have people over. It's a refreshing thing to do, because most people now are running around, driving through, having to eat out with noise and crowds. But to actually come to your house and have something homemade, even if it's just bread, okay, or just cookies, right? Or chili. Like my daughter made chili the other night, and we loved it. And then we happened to see a video or an article it's for the first time, it's cool, and everyone in Texas just made chili. And I think Jim looks at me and I go, we did just have chili.
We did that. Yes,
and so definitely make the effort. People will just be grateful that you made the effort, and they will so appreciate it. And it doesn't need to be much work. And in that book, Brunch Is Hell, How to Save the World by Throwing a Dinner Party, they do say that 51% of the food needs to be homemade in some way. Now, that's not half of the meal. So you could just make anything, some people make spaghetti. And that's very easy. But, if you think about it for the holidays, so Halloween, often we'll make holiday cookies. So this time, our neighbor who makes cookies, these decorative cookies, every event, she sent out a Facebook post that said, I'm making Halloween cookies, and anybody want a dozen, regular cookies or gluten-free? And I put in 2 dozen gluten-free, and they're really cute, and I'll go pick them up.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. I forgot about it until right now. And that's what I was thinking. We could have people over for the cookies, and they're beautiful. They're not very expensive. They're $12. So everybody will love them. The one time we got them before, or have we done it twice? Once.
A couple of times, I think.
Everybody was like, these are the coolest cookies in the world. So doing something, and they're homemade. They were just by the neighbor, right? And so it's doable. It means you can grab some people will grab a store-bought salad, cook a homemade entree, maybe a store-bought dish, or cookies. On TV, they go buy a pie and then switch it over to a regular pie pan. Okay. It's just
you're giving away too many of your secrets here.
Not that I've done it. Giving homemade food is to your friends, guests, right, is a metaphor for sharing, openness, breaking bread together, friendship, caring for each other.
Right, connection. And just, I wanted to say, too, that
some people even say mutual understanding, because you're talking together in a way that when you're eating together, you're much more intimate. Would you say?
Yeah, and I was going to say that this is an Old Testament, New Testament, it's a biblical custom that to entertain someone at your table was almost to invite them into your family. I mean, it was a very personal, connection-oriented experience, and the host was basically making his home through that meal available to his friends, these people. And so whenever we read in the scriptures about someone, a group of people having a meal together, we're not just talking about feeding their faces. We're talking about connecting from the inside out in a way. And so it's an opportunity to experience something personal and something warm and friendly and very connected.
Very connected. It's just a great way to get people together to chill together. Mm-hmm. That's why it doesn't necessarily matter about the food so much, And so, I'd recommend, if you've never done it, just take it easy the first time and, pick up something or order a pizza or something like that, like we said. You can even, so we've had different things. Some people have talked about death over dinner party. So they just all went to get slices of pizza and stuff from Costco, or too much pizza or too much chocolate, or, death by chocolate or whatever. And so just whatever you want to call it. We always try to come up with a theme, but so often we can't think of anything.
We've had such a wide variety of meals. When we've had people over, we have had spaghetti as the main meal before.
Yeah, we have.
We've had
people bring garlic bread,
we've had grilled chicken.
Yeah.
We've had hamburgers. We've had sausage and that kind of thing. We've had.
Well, we have a friend. He makes these soups. Like, he loves making soup, and it's incredible. These soups, right? Damon makes these great soups. So it's just something with your friends. I know that social anxiety has really caused a lot of people to stop hosting. And honestly, the more out of practice you get, it's actually a great way, especially with some close friends, to practice your social skills. And it'll actually help you decrease anxiety in the social world. It really increases your social skills. I tried to tag this show, social skills and things like that, and there were no tags for that, so it was kind of frustrating. But just know that it actually helps you break that cycle of social anxiety the more that you do it. And it's like a little microcosm, a small little world to practice in. Right.
And you can start with like 2 couples, even 4 people that you know really well and that you enjoy. Get together and you just share together, and in that you are practicing social skills, and so then you can open it up to other people to come in, But
I've had people who say, well, what about the financial side of it? And honestly, you can make beans and rice, and have other people bring things. You can make soup, you can make spaghetti, things that are really cheap. It does not have to be expensive, and you can make it nice. I mean, people just appreciate how many people love spaghetti with garlic bread. Okay, it's just a wonderful thing. My daughter made these little, what do you call those, little meatballs, right? Oh, yeah. For the spaghetti, really. And she just, you can do that. So even if you're financially strapped, throwing a party doesn't have to be something you do all the time, right? Occasionally. And for the holidays, even if you just do it once, or even in a year, if you just do it once, it's a good way to practice. So those are some negative reservations that people have had in the past. Can you think of anything else?
No, I think that pretty well covers the negative side of it, that people think, I don't want to do that because it costs too much, or I don't want to take the time and trouble, my house is a mess, blah, blah, blah. And so we have all kinds of rationalizations and excuses when it comes to that. But what we're giving up is worth so much more than overcoming those negative thoughts and everything.
Yeah.
I want, for me, I think the holidays are a perfect time to start this. Yeah. And so I think of
because people are wanting to do
in the
something.
Holiday season.
Yes, people
I'm thinking
are open.
Of people together in the holiday season. So there's so many different metaphors that come to our minds, when it comes to the holidays. And so this is a perfect time. And so, gosh, you can just start by saying, hey, we're having some folks over for dinner on Saturday night. We were hoping maybe you might come.
And, people can be clunky. I don't know what you call that, socially clunky. I don't know what's a good word, but the less that they entertain.
Awkward.
When they were younger, they would just hang out with their friends, and their friends would come over. They'd come over and you'd go over or whatever. And when it gets to the point that, no, you need to call me, and then no this, no that. And, we've had really good friends say, no, not at our house. And they didn't used to be that way, and so they get anxious about having anyone, my house isn't clean enough or whatever. And the more you do that, the more you will do that. The more you do that, the more you will have to do that.
It perpetuates itself.
And so you can't eventually feel like you can have people over. So we want to talk about all the reasons why to have a dinner party, how to do it, the joys of it, the generosity of it, and how it'll actually give you a natural high. Increases endorphins. It actually helps you get rid of depression and anxiety and all these great things. So we just want you to know those. So stay right here. And is there anything else you want to add about that?
No, I think it will be good if you come in here with us the next part of our show, because we're going to talk about reasons to have these parties.
All right, stay right here.
Say we're not getting any younger, but many thousands have felt younger after a few short months using Dr. Wallach's all-natural longevity nutritional supplements. How many times have you said one of these days I need to call Dr. Wallach and find out what I need? Well, make that day today. Here's how to get that information. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Write that number down and make the call. The information is free and there is no pressure. So do it now. That's 800-214-0065. If you face health challenges such as heart disease, arthritis, diabetes, fibromyalgia, depression, infertility, ADD or ADHD, high blood pressure, or one of hundreds of other diseases, help is available. All you have to do is make the call. You have nothing to lose but the pain and suffering. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. You've been listening to Dr. Wallach, and I bet you have some questions. We want to help. And here's how you can get the answers. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Write that number down and make the call right now. Don't wait any longer to find out how Dr. Wallach's own all-natural nutritional supplements by Longevity can help you. Are you concerned with reducing your risk of heart disease, cancer, stroke, or high blood pressure? Help is available. Do you have arthritis, sore joints, lower back pain, or fibromyalgia? Call now. Dr. Wallach creates his own formulation so you can be sure that what is on the label is actually in the bottle. Whatever your health challenge, make this call. Thousands like you have seen results for a happier, healthier life. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Call today. 800-214-0065. Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just two of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
The best Mexican food at family-friendly prices in Cedar Hill is at Olga's Sports Restaurant, 642 Uptown Boulevard. Olga's serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They'll serve you the most delicious tacos, burritos, quesadillas, homemade tortillas, and other made-to-order food. Wash it all down with one of Olga's famous margaritas. Too busy or too tired to go out? Call 469-454-6430 for local delivery. 469-454-6430. Want a catered lunch at the office? Call Olga's. Having a birthday party or other event? Call Olga's Sports Restaurant and book their party room. 469-454-6430. Meet your friends to watch the big game or soccer match on their big screen TVs. Olga's has it all, including Wi-Fi and hotspot. For the finest made-from-scratch Mexican and bar food in Cedar Hill, stop by Olga's Sports Restaurant, 642 Uptown Boulevard today. Call 469-454-6430. Olga's Sports Restaurant in Cedar Hill.
Your things back on. Christy's not there.
To admit it's getting better, a little better all the time.
And now here's more Getting Better with Ann Beal on 1160 AM KBDT.
Welcome back. Jim was helping me. I couldn't see the clock, so he was helping me out. Okay, so for having a social time with your friends at your house, that is called a dinner party. You know, the book that I was talking about, they talk about how brunch can be harder because people are expecting breakfast food. But I don't, a combination of breakfast and lunch when you call it brunch, I always, doesn't matter to me when you have people over. If you're going to have a brunch, just have people help you. And eggs are not hard. French toast is not hard. My brothers used to make French toast when I was a kid for me. So they just stick it in the pan with butter and, go. And egg, mix it with egg and milk, whatever. So there's things you can do, whether it be brunch or dinner. We often find on the weekend, like a late afternoon, even Sunday, late evening, early evening, late afternoon, early afternoon. Any of those are great. But it kind of just depends on your personality. And one of the things I want to say is in our culture today, people tend to be more consumers than givers, preparers, generosity. What do you think?
Well, I do. It's most people just say, hey, if you want to go eat, we want to eat something special, we go out and eat, right?
Yeah.
And so that makes us consumers rather than creators.
Creators.
And so, did you want to start there?
Yeah, I'd love for you to start. I know you have some really good things, so you just start wherever you want.
Well, we
to start.
already started on that one.
On the
right?
correct, yeah. Go ahead.
So, well, and so we went out with met some friends out for dinner the other night. It was at a pizza place, and it was fun, and we enjoyed seeing them, and we had a good conversation. But when you do that, when you are meeting with people as consumers. You're putting up with other people who are eating at the restaurant around you. You're putting up with noise, music, whatever it may be around you. And there's never this sense of real community, I think, even if you're sitting at a table, I think it's harder to gain this sense of community and connection, really, when you're out at a restaurant than when you are in a home.
Yeah,
where
home
you're much more at ease, you're much more laid back. You can even sit on the couch. You don't even have to sit at the table if you don't want to. But there's this sense of you're creating the opportunity, you're making the moment happen, and you're actually guarding the environment in a sense, or making it what you want it. You don't have to be aware of the distractions and extraneous things going on around you.
Because I noticed the music the other night.
You're focusing on just the people who are there.
You didn't notice the music.
I didn't.
The other night. I did. And so it kind of just depends on what distracts you. And if it's for you, if it's your place, you can prepare the environment. And
you don't have to sit with your back to the door.
No, and that's where booths, if you're going to do a restaurant, often booths or something. I mean, if you have an open table, then you can still see everyone. But it's really kind of up to you what you like. Space is important if you're out, to have space, and maybe not music so you can hear each other.
Yeah, and the point we're trying to make with this is that if you're going out to eat, which makes you a consumer, you're missing some of the richness of what happens when you're a creator of a meal and creator of an environment in a home situation.
And if you know anyone that loves to cook, it is like artistic to them, and they're definitely creative. And they love that. They love really making it taste good for you, right? And so we know the difference, believe me, because our daughter's boyfriend, he can cook like crazy. I mean, he can cook anything, and amazing how it tastes. And our daughter can do wonderfully as well, and our other daughter. And when you just consume, you're more childlike. We just want to pick something up and run. But when you're making it yourself, it's a more mature thing to do, right?
Actually, it is.
It is, yeah. And so, but definitely being the creator is a wonderful thing, and being generous.
Okay, right, absolutely. Now let me give you another one here. We gave you one that was on our list, and that is to be a creator, not a consumer. Right. Another is by having a dinner party, it initiates and sustains friendships.
It definitely
initiates
does.
and sustains friendships. Now, I already mentioned earlier, most of the guys I know say they don't have enough friends, and they know that they need more friends because there's good input that they get from guys they're close to or could be friends with, but they just don't do it. And so stepping out and having some people over for dinner is an initiation. It initiates the friend building experience, right? And so this is a way, without a lot of necessary fuss, probably, to begin building some friendships. So it initiates and sustains friendships.
It feels so good to have someone invite you, even being invited out to dinner, being a part of that group. It feels good that, hey, they thought of me, they remembered me, and it feels like people really care about you.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So we want you to understand that there's so many other things, and we want you to learn those. Definitely the generosity, but also the natural high that comes from having people over. Part of it, though, being invited. People just want to be invited. They don't even care what you're serving, but they want to be invited. They want to be a part of the in group. They want to know that you care about them. And when you have them over in a smaller setting, they feel more special.
And so, people are so appreciative that you had them over. And that can be a really good tool when it comes to building relationships.
So stay right here. You'll learn more.
Have you written a book and want...
What does it mean to be an American? Just what are our American values? Working hard to succeed, loving God, country, and family, being honest, strong, and compassionate.
Supporting our Constitution and recognizing that we are blessed to be living in America, the greatest country in the world.
Our Bill of Rights protects us, our freedoms of worship, speech, and privacy, our right to own firearms, our right to trial by jury,
Our right to be free, to live our own lives without some bureaucrat telling us what to do. Most countries don't have these rights.
Want to know more? It's all there in the book. Get your own free book, The U.S. Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Then read it again, and this time share it with your friends. Our great Constitution is the basis of all of our freedoms, our inalienable rights. Get your own copy at freeusbook.com.
Brought to you by the American Media Council.
Hello, this is Wayne Allen Root, relentless conservative warrior, middle-class warrior, and always Trump warrior. I have a message for my fellow patriots across America. President Trump is making America great again. He's the only president in my lifetime who is keeping his promises, and his biggest promise is to build that wall. President Trump can only do it with our help. If Congress won't fund Trump's wall, we will. President Trump is one man against the world, and what globalists and socialists around the world want is clear, open borders. It's time to take a stand. We either build a wall, or it's the end of the greatest nation in world history ever blessed by God. That's why I founded the Root for the Wall PAC. 63 million Trump voters together will raise the money President Trump needs for the wall. Anyone who donates $100 or more will get a beautiful commemorative wall brick. Display it proudly. Call 844-ROOT-WALL. That's toll free, 844-ROOT-WALL. Or go to rootwall.com. We will build this wall together. Call 844-ROOT-WALL or go to rootwall.com. Root for the Wall PAC. Paid for and is responsible for the content of this message. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Rootwall.com.
What is the Del Walmsley Radio Show?
Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. I'm your host, Del Walmsley, and as always, we're working on your financial freedom.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show Monday through Friday from 11 until noon.
It takes a whole lot more effort to get something started in your life than it does to keep it moving.
Del Walmsley has moved thousands closer to a great life. The Del Walmsley Radio Show is now on 1160 AM KBDT, Monday through Friday from 11 until noon. Listen and move toward your great life today.
Admit it's getting better, a little better, all the time.
If you'd like to get better, call Ann right now. 214-810-8255. 214-810-TALK. Now more with Ann Beal on 1160 AM KBDT.
I want to encourage you to set a date for a dinner party as soon as you can, because it gins up dopamine for both you and the people that you invite. It really does. It creates a future, an excitement in the future, something exciting coming up, something that you're hoping for a rewarding outcome, and you get excited when people invite you to things. Mm-hmm. And that, setting a date does do that. Setting a date and actually inviting people, because the invitation, it kind of makes it set in stone. People have already been told people are coming. And then, the host starts wondering how things will turn out, what I need to do. And so it just gets you to start preparing, thinking about it, right? But it really does increase your energy. It increases your mood instead of the opposite. And if you have a worry, like we talked about before, about cleaning your house or whatever, just realize people don't really care about that. You want to you do want to pick it up and everything, but it does not have to be perfect. And if you stress so much, because we know people who stress so much about the holidays, they actually seem to be the people that everyone goes to their house for Christmas or Thanksgiving, and yet they hate it. Because they stress themselves out so badly, worrying about every little detail has to be perfect. They have a horrible time and they hate the holidays. We don't want that for you. We want you to enjoy yourself. And so the most important thing is understand people aren't coming for the way your house looks. They can go on a tour of homes to see that. They can go tour a mansion. They can go, you know what I'm saying? That is not why they're coming to your house. If they care about you, they're coming because of you. They like you.
Something else that I might bring in at this point is just that having people over for a dinner party like that produces joys of generosity, and we've used that term a couple of times. But the idea is it's, we feel good when we receive things, but we feel even better when we give away, when we give.
Yes.
And everybody who is in our business at least knows that one of the healing properties knows the healing properties of giving. Giving back. And so, that there's a huge joy that comes in giving to people something that makes them feel really good and that's good for them, And so we say that it produces, one person said catalyzes. I don't think I would use that term on my own.
A
but
catalyst.
it initiates or it produces joy of generosity. It does take away people's stress and anxiety, and people just... it's almost like when they come into your home and you put some food in their hands and a drink of some kind that they begin to loosen up a lot, and they begin, you use the word chill. They begin to chill out, and all of a sudden they start feeling so good. And then when they have just some good conversation and everybody feels great about it. And you mentioned the chemicals. There are other chemicals that get going too, but dopamine is a chemical that is a natural kind of anesthetic in a way. I mean, it makes us feel good. Any kind of pain or anxiety tends to go away when we have the dopamine flowing through us. And then there's the oxytocin, which is that bonding chemical. And this oxytocin is one of the things that's at work between a mom and her baby when her newborn, when they bond. Well, that's because oxytocin is going throughout her body and actually the baby's body too, probably. And so that happens in a different kind of way with people who come into your home and enjoy one another at a dinner party. And so there's that. There are other kinds of endorphins that get going, those feel-good chemicals that make people really, really enjoy that time.
And it does create bonding in a way that nothing else does. It really does. So if you think of the way a mom and a baby feels, okay, that bonding that can happen, to have that be through having them over for food, just sitting and breaking bread together, or having some wine, or having, just some tea and sandwiches or anything like that.
Or even soft drinks. I mean,
when I was in Holland, I went to do marriage counseling there. There's no Christian counselors in Holland, so I was over there to do that meeting. I was going into couples' homes, counseling them, and it was just, I was only there for a few weeks just to do that. Every home I went into, every person had biscuits or what we might call cookies or little sandwiches when I was there for me, have a snack, have a drink. They had tea or coffee with the little stroop waffles on top,
Right.
It was a very welcome. It was very simple. And then we sat and drank coffee and the little stroop waffle on top, ate that and just dipped it. Or if it was the biscuits, what they call them are little cookies, you dip them in your coffee or tea while you talk. And it seemed very sweet, intimate. In fact, I wrote to those people. When I was speaking in the Rocky Mountains, we were in a cabin with people, and it was a very family environment. They had twice baked French toast that I'd never heard of. We ate together, and those people still write me and send me things. And so it's weird how close you can feel in such a short amount of time when you add things to just being together. So you're not just together, that's great, but when you add food and drink, for some reason, it is weird that it does that oxytocin thing.
Yeah, it really does, and it's amazing. It's almost, like I mentioned earlier, it's almost magical when you put a plate of whatever kind of food, in somebody's hand, or have them sit down at a table. When you're sharing a meal together, it's magic.
It is
what
magic.
It does.
And a little stress is not a bad thing. Stress causes a boost of adrenaline, energy, motivation. It lends interest to life, in my opinion, because anticipation does that too.
Sure.
Anticipation, and you can call the dopamine the anticipation chemical, because when you are anticipating a trip, going on a vacation, doing something that is fun or enjoyable, the chemicals that you feel and what they do to you just in anticipating, you can feel better than the actual event itself. Some people say it was the excitement leading up to and preparing for the vacation. The vacation was okay, but preparing was more fun, right? And so you want to get better. this is a way to get better.
Now, there's another element that's a part of that, and this is maybe offering a chance to exercise some courage. If you haven't given a party for a while, if you haven't given a dinner party for a while, there may be a little anxiety in getting ready for that. You may not know exactly how it's going to go. You may have some nervousness about starting conversation, or hoping everybody's not just going to sit around just with blank stares on their faces with nothing to say. And so, you're going to wonder, okay, what am I going to do to get things going? And it is not hard. Let me just say that it is easy. Even if you say, well, Joe, what's been going on in your life these days?
Well, and one of the things when we were talking about having some people over, because by preparing, we really thought about how much we wanted to do this today. And so we started, Jim goes, so when are we going to do it? I'm like, yeah. He goes, who do you want to invite? And so I started naming, we should do that. And he looked at me and he goes, so 3 couples? Because when you make it too big, it can be more stressful. And when it works out big, it's fine. It's just that if you want a smaller gathering to make it more intimate, you can do more than one, and you can have different ones, right?
Well, right. And let me just say, we've done all sizes. We've done really big ones, really fancy china, all that stuff. And we've done real small ones where we just did nothing but basically hot dogs, with sausage and stuff like that. And by the way, you do such a great job no matter what we're doing. I just
like to have people over for fun. Right. Honestly, one of the things that just makes a typical week not typical, right? It makes it atypical. It's like, so if we do it once a month, we have 3 weeks that just are exactly the same. Go to work, come home, blah, blah, blah. And then we have a week that is fun because we're preparing for people. It's fun and a little stressful, but it's like it makes it more exciting. It makes life more exciting. Yeah. And you're building relationships, something that you keep saying, oh, I need to call my friends. Oh, I need to call my family. You do that all the time. So if you just make plans, set a date for your dinner party, set a date, whether you do it brunch or lunch or dinner, and start getting ready. Yeah, but let me say, if we're getting into the holiday season, if you wait too long to set your date, I know people will be filled up on their schedule probably. Which is why I was telling them, we should do it soon because that way more likely people will be available. But when you named just 3 couples, I said, but what if one of them can't come? We should do it earlier, right? And so that way people can plan. I miss when I was young. When I was young, I lived in such a great place. People would just come over. My friends would come over. People would just come over. People who knew us would just come to the back door. We knew, or front, but they would just come over. And I could go over there. I could just walk over there. And so now you have to prepare and you have to call and you have to plan and you have to so often. That is why I think that people getting together in people's homes has gone down 30 to 40%. Yep. That's an awful lot of percentage. And that would be one of the reasons I think. But if you think about bringing excitement to your life, if you're bored, do something different. Right, and having people like that over really energizes you. Yeah. It makes you feel so good as people enjoy you and enjoy each other in the context of that relationship over a meal. And it really raises your spirits. It lifts your mood, raises your spirits in a natural way. You could call it a natural kind of high, and it really is. It is. So, but you have to take the first step to make the telephone call, right? Or whatever it is that you do to make the contact. You just said set a date. Call. Yeah. Call a couple of people. And you could start with one couple. And so it'd be 4 of you, perhaps, Yeah. Or you could do 3 couples, which would be 6. So you don't have to start big, but... Marta says, when should I be there? That's very creative. You should come. Yeah. We just saw Marta Greenman. We just had lunch with her in the In-N-Out, Ray Maldonado and Marine. And... Danny from Albania. Yeah, that's Danny who we had pizza with. Yeah. He's here for Danny ministry. Radio Danny. Yes. Well, and let me just say this. I'm not as worried about having people in my home. I don't worry about it anywhere near as much as Jim about what could you call it, social shame of having a messy place. But I can tell you a little bit amount of social shame motivates you to clean. And if you do it on a regular basis, even if it's every 3 months, okay, then you will actually spring clean your house every 3 months. Like, we don't do everything because, you just get the place where they're going to be, the living room, the kitchen, whatever it is, where they see people, and then you just close the other doors except the guest bathroom. These other people who go, poo, because I've seen some beautiful houses, okay, like the Maldonados have a beautiful house, and it looks, but maybe she prepared fresh flowers. I just stopped by. I don't think so. Right? I don't think so. But that social shame, that little bit of social shame, it is good for you because it creates good adrenaline.
Well, okay, let me just say in my own defense about that, okay, is that first of all, I've come a long way, and it used to cause me not to want to have people over to a certain extent. But now I realize that, the fact is, honestly, nobody really cares.
No, you didn't even want strange people in our barn. Right?
Oh, okay,
they were
all right.
You're like, what? Yeah, you've come a long ways. But it does motivate you to clean your house. And if you aren't like a person that does it regularly, like Jim, okay, and I'm saying because you pretty much do it regularly, if you're like me, it's a great motivation to clean it. And I like that. I like to have the motivation to do it.
Right.
It's not that I don't do it, but regularly, if I have people over regularly, then I do it regularly.
Well, when you think about it, when you're having folks over, really all you have to worry about is the living room or wherever you're going to have the party, or dining room, whatever, and your kitchen and your guest bathroom.
Yes. And so it's cool in that there's lots of things about it. Now, I suggest things for people to help them with themselves, right? If they have things that sabotage themselves, like they want to clean, but I just don't feel like it, it's hard for me, I'm not motivated, well, you can create things to motivate you. That's the coolest thing. Having someone come in from out of town, okay, like Danny. Having people come visit, that motivates you to clean. But this is a simple, small little thing. It doesn't have to be strangers or everyone in the neighborhood. But the other thing is it's fun. Good friends, good food, good conversation, and spontaneity, improvisation. You can have games. Sometimes we have games.
Sometimes we have games and sometimes we don't. It just depends on what you want to do.
We have, someone plays the guitar, we sing, we do fun stuff depending on who's there because we have some pretty gifted people.
We have a close friend who hasn't done this yet, but she is a ventriloquist and she has a dummy. And we've got to get her to come and do something like that at a party sometime.
Zan, we need to have Zan. That would be so cool.
Yes.
That would be so cool. I want to mention my sister made me a new bracelet. She makes jewelry. She has it in the Clinton Library in Little Rock. She's an incredible jeweler. She always every jewelry I wear, every piece of jewelry I wear is by my sister. It is called Jewelry by Joan Courtney, and I appreciate it so much. They're always so beautiful, aren't they? They're so beautiful.
They really are just gorgeous, yes.
And I just appreciate it. This one's so creative. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a cross with, and she put what is this, a lapis lazuli? Yeah. I love lapis jewelry.
Yeah, that's about your favorite stone, I know, and she uses that a lot for you in your jewelry.
So stay right here. When you come back, we're going to tell you if you have any specific questions, give us a call.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just 2 of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. They say we're not getting any younger, but many thousands have felt younger after a few short months using Dr. Wallach's all-natural longevity nutritional supplements. How many times have you said one of these days I need to call Dr. Wallach and find out what I need? Well, make that day today. Here's how to get that information. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Write that number down and make the call. The information is free, and there is no pressure. So do it now. That's 800-214-0065. If you face health challenges such as heart disease, arthritis, diabetes, fibromyalgia, depression, infertility, ADD or ADHD, high blood pressure, or one of hundreds of other diseases, help is available. All you have to do is make the call. You have nothing to lose but the pain and suffering. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. You've been listening to Dr. Wallach, and I bet you have some questions. We want to help. And here's how you can get the answers. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Write that number down and make the call right now. Don't wait any longer to find out how Dr. Wallach's own all-natural nutritional supplements by Youngevity can help you. Are you concerned with reducing your risk of heart disease, cancer, stroke, or high blood pressure? Help is available. Do you have arthritis, sore joints, lower back pain, or fibromyalgia? Call now. Dr. Wallach creates his own formulation so you can be sure that what is on the label is actually in the bottle. Whatever your health challenge, make this call. Thousands like you have seen results for a happier, healthier life. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Call today. 800-214-0065.
Hello, this is Wayne Allen Root, relentless conservative warrior, middle-class warrior, and always Trump warrior. I have a message for my fellow patriots across America. President Trump is making America great again. He's the only president in my lifetime who is keeping his promises, and his biggest promise is to build that wall. President Trump can only do it with our help. If Congress won't fund Trump's wall, we will. President Trump is one man against the world, and what globalists and socialists around the world want is clear, open borders. It's time to take a stand. We either build a wall, or it's the end of the greatest nation in world history ever blessed by God. That's why I founded the Root for the Wall PAC. 63 million Trump voters together will raise the money President Trump needs for the wall. Anyone who donates $100 or more will get a beautiful commemorative wall brick. Display it proudly. Call 844-ROOT-WALL. That's toll free, 844-ROOT-WALL, or go to rootwall.com. We will build this wall together. Call 844-ROOT-WALL or go to rootwall.com. Root for the Wall PAC. Paid for and responsible for the content of this message. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Rootwall.com.
I've got to admit, it's getting better, a little better, all the time.
You're getting better all the time. Now, back to Ann Beal on 1160 AM, KBDT.
We had someone tell us they can drive. When are we going to have them over? Oh, you have a car. You can drive a long way. So we're like, yes, we can. Yes, we can.
So there's no excuse
yes.
for being distant.
And so Getting Better with Ann Beal is on Facebook. We have people on watching the video. You can also go to YouTube. I'll put this on YouTube. Or you can just hear us on BigDTalk.com, 1160 AM KBDT News, Talk, and Sports.
And what's the telephone number there?
214-810-8255. I forgot to give that out. I know, but sorry, guys. We just want to encourage you to listen to Kirby Anderson and Point of View coming up this week. And Ashley's next, I think. And so she has a health and wellness show as well, just like us. We are excited that you guys are going to set a date to have people over. So if you have any questions about it, you can get to me on Getting Better with Ann Beal at Yahoo. No, Getting Better with Ann Beal at gmail.com. You can get to Jim, J. Slaughter, PhD, at yahoo.com.
Right.
And so you can get to us, of course, on social media. You can get to us with Getting Better with Ann Beal. You can just Google that and find me. We are excited you're going to have people over. If you have any questions, I'm sure you know people that do it. So if you have any questions, you can ask them too. We find it incredibly beneficial to our holiday season. Any of the holidays. Halloween's fun. Some people, their favorite holiday is Halloween. And I have people, their favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. Some people, it's Christmas. But having friends over is wonderful. If you love to grill, you can have, and a lot of people that love to grill have friends over. people over.
Let me say this too, and that is that often when we do a party and we grill out, the guys are just hovering around the grill.
They stay outside around the grill.
All right, and
I know
and,
they do.
And the gals are inside doing their thing, getting the rest of the food ready, and it's a great time to
but
talk
we're just
and
hanging
socialize.
out, watching you guys when they're out there in the heat around the grill. Like, why? No, but you guys, you do socialize that way.
Absolutely, yeah.
I always wonder, like, what temperature are you cooking the burgers at? I don't know what you guys chat about out there, but grilling is so much easier in a lot of ways to have fun. You know, I have somebody who has an indoor grill, like a thing on their stove. And so anything like that, having people over, I want to talk to you a little bit about next week. We're going to have a show with Chad Hennings. So Chad Henning, we're not going to be doing a video next week because we recorded him. So the show will be on the radio or on bigdtalk.com or tunein.com.
So if you don't know the name Chad Hennings, you might not. But if you don't, he was an all-pro Cowboy lineman, defensive lineman, and one of the guys who was at the top of the sport. And he was a pilot in Iraq, all kinds of things like that.
He's just an incredible
But now he
man.
has a wonderful ministry called Wingmen Ministries, and he'll tell you all about it.
Yes, but you also see his Super Bowl rings. He's got a bunch.
Yep.
So I don't know how many Super Bowls. 3? For
he
the
has
Cowboys,
3 Super Bowls. Yeah,
he has his
Aikman
rings, and
all those guys were playing.
I have a picture of him with his rings. So we're excited about that, and we just thank you for joining us. One of the things for you to know is that most of our shows coming up the holidays are going to be how to have a really good holiday.
Yes.
How to have a good holiday with your family, how to have better communication, those awkward family things, where you don't really know how to handle them. We are going to let you know how to do that, how to really enjoy it. Because some people, you should hear the things we hear about going home for the holidays so knowing how to handle those and make them great, how to have a great family vacation over the holidays when you're together, on the time off when the kids are home, anything like that. So we're going to let you know that, how to get toxins out of your home for the holidays. So one of the suggestions is, not to have toxic chemicals spraying into your hair. Consider that. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say any brands, but consider essential oils and candles, and we're going to talk about that, and how to make a really wonderful Thanksgiving meal that's easy, healthy, and non-toxic. So that's the kind of stuff we're going to be talking about.
That's great.
That's great.
Yeah,
I'm glad you like that. You're like, I was thinking.
No, I was thinking. I almost never spray toxic chemicals into my hair.
I said into the air. No, you probably do. And I won't say the brands, but the most known one to get rid of odors, And so it's just like what most people plug in and use. And so I'm just letting you know, you can do whatever you want. We want you to have those wonderful smells. And so there are essential oils for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. You can put in, pumpkin smells, things like, you can actually make cookies, make bread, do things like that make your house smell better. And so part of it is, we want to just let you know how to do that. There are these incredible things that Kristen Archer does for essential oils for Thanksgiving that is just amazing, and Monica Brown and different people that we have, that the stuff they know. So we were talking about having the essential oils specialist on not next week, we'll do it the next week. The
Vinsons.
Yeah, the Vinsons. They're let you know how to have those wonderful smells. They're fabulous. We'll have them on in 2 weeks. I forgot about that. So we just enjoy you joining us. Thank you so much. And if you want to know how to get better, you just keep tuning in to Ann and Jim on Getting Better. Take care. Have a great week.
See you, everybody.